You see, there's a miracle that society never tells you directly. Those who are truly awake, those who have seen through the veil of everyday illusion, often choose to remain alone, not because they are incapable of love, but precisely because they love too much. They love life itself. They love pure existence so intensely that they refuse to share ownership of it with anyone else. I remember one afternoon sitting with a friend who had achieved almost everything the world calls success. Abundant wealth, glittering fame, projects that made the whole world turn its head. Yet he sighed and said, "Now everyone only asks one question. When are you getting married?" As if everything he had built was merely the prelude, and the real symphony of life only begins when someone stands beside him in the wedding photo. I stayed silent for a moment, then asked, "What if I told you that choosing not to marry is the wisest, the noblest decision a truly awakened person can make? Would you believe me?" He laughed, thinking I was joking, but I was dead serious, because I have seen a pattern repeated throughout history, so clear it's terrifying, yet almost no one dares point it out. Those who changed the course of humanity, the greatest minds, the most blazing souls, most of them walked through life alone, not because they weren't loved, but because they understood that ordinary love, the kind of love society glorifies, is usually a tacit contract. I give you my freedom, and in exchange you fill the void I'm afraid to face. Just look back and see. The Buddha left his palace, left his beautiful wife and child, and walked into the forest alone. Jesus never married. Lao Tzu vanished on the back of a green buffalo. No one knows if he ever had a wife, but he certainly left no trace of a family home. Socrates had a wife, but he himself said living with Xanthippe was like riding a wild horse, good for training patience, not for joy. He spent his life wandering the marketplace, talking to strangers while his wife screamed at home. Clearly, he chose philosophy as his true lover. Then Nietzsche, Tesla, Newton, Kierkegaard, Kafka, Emily Dickinson, Henry James, Gustave Flaubert, Immanuel Kant, Descartes, Spinoza, Schopenhauer. The list is so long you'd get tired counting. People usually pity them. Poor things, they must not have known how to love. But if you read carefully what they wrote, you'll see the exact opposite. They knew love too well. So well that they refused half-hearted love, the kind that demands you clip your wings to fit into the pretty little double cage society calls family happiness. They understood that when you are truly awake, you realize you are not a half looking for its other half. You are whole. You are the sky, the ocean, the flame, and looking for someone else to complete you is no different than the sun looking for a match to shine brighter. Alan Watts once joked that marriage is a school that teaches you how to live with someone you wouldn't choose a second time if given the chance. But behind the joke, what he really meant is far deeper. When you are truly awake, you see that every intimate relationship is a compromise of being. You agree to become a smaller, safer, more palatable version of yourself in exchange for closeness. And most people are willing to pay that price because they are terrified of emptiness. The awakened are no longer afraid of emptiness. They have realized that emptiness is the space where the universe performs. They don't hate love. They simply refuse the kind of love that turns them into the guardian of someone else's emotions, refuse to spend their days healing their partner's wounds while their own deepest wounds still bleed. They know that when you truly love life, you cannot embrace the entire universe and cling tightly to one person at the same time. One of the two will be distorted. And here is the most beautiful paradox. It is precisely that aloneness that makes them the most loving beings of all. Because they no longer need to possess anyone, they can love without demanding reciprocation. They can love a married person, love a river, love an idea, love all of humanity without requiring anyone to belong to them. That is the love of the bodhisattvas. Love without attachment, giving without expecting return. Ordinary people think being alone is deprivation. The awakened know that being alone is abundance, abundance of time, abundance of energy, abundance of self. They don't look for someone else to fill them because they are already full. They don't look for someone else to validate their existence because they are certain they exist, radiant and complete. Society will call them selfish. But look closely. Who is truly selfish? The one who keeps their energy whole to dedicate it to a greater mission, or the one who demands you cut your soul in half so they can feel safe? Imagine you are standing on a mountain so high the air is thin and it hurts to breathe.